All right, we're back, and this is module 2.3 of communication. And I forgot to give you all the to talk about the shifting of paradigms. That happens through introspection. You have to examine your thoughts, excuse me, and you have to be willing to cross-examine your core beliefs. You begin to put your thoughts on the stand, and you begin to ask questions like, is this a feeling or is this a fact? Because what we've done historically is not challenged our paradigms, our thoughts, our core beliefs, because our thoughts are our thoughts. So we accept them as true and valid. But because we've been through so much in life, we have to really assess, is this true? Or even, does this work for me today? Do I need to stretch? Do I need to expand my thinking? Because we get to get more information and we get to expand our paradigm and we get to scaffold new information in, take out old information, or expand information or add to information, which is expand, and just begin to think about our thinking. We have permission. We have permission to think about our thinking. And if we're going to be effective communicators, we have to begin to think about what we're thinking about. We have to be able to be mindful and to go inward and spend time examining our thought world. Why do I think that? Why do I think people are against me? Why do I think that I'm better than other people? Why do I think that I'm being alienated or being left out of the family? Why do I feel like I'm being disrespected? Or what are my thoughts? Why do I need to be seen, heard, and understood? Is it deeper than just the natural need, or do I have low self-esteem, or am I depressed? Do I have a negative bend in my thinking? What's the climate, the emotional climate in my mind? What experiences have left me negative or critical, or just in a spiral of thoughts that don't serve me or my family community? You get to cross-examine your thoughts. You get to. Every thought is not law. There needs to be validity. You need to be able to have examples, because I've seen situations where you can be blue in the face and tell people, I didn't mean it that way. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, I know you did. And I've had hours of conversation with people who were committed to misunderstanding me. And then I had to tell myself, I've done the work, I've checked it out, but they just don't want to understand me. And so introspection will help you see is if you have built up barriers to listening to people, and if you have faulty thinking, but it's going to take being curious about truth. And then once you're curious about truth, other people's truth, and the truth, then you can begin to adapt and change your paradigm. And again, if you grow up in an environment where there's toxicity and negative speaking, you get to be curious about, is this the way I'm supposed to talk to people I love or people that I'm in collaboration with? Is this the most effective mode of communication? And you get to challenge and adapt. So now, moving on further to advanced tactics and strategies to improve your communication. We're going to combat the Four Horsemen. Remember, we talked about John Gottman's Four Horsemen, the contempt, the criticism, the defensiveness, and the stonewalling. It shows up in every relationship, you all. And I wanted to simplify this and to focus on these four things, because we want to get some strategy on how to dismantle it so that we can have effective lives. Healthy people have healthy relationships. Unhealthy people have unhealthy relationships. And if you're striving for health and growth, then you will want to take these strategies and begin to apply them and to teach other people. Each one teach one so that we can reach one and so that we can change the language of family communicating. So the Four Horsemen, again, there's criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And if you're going to change these things, you have to be courageous. Like I said, because some people hold on to communication styles to memorialize the functioning of the uniqueness of our family. We keep it real, or we tell you exactly how we feel. No, you're not just keeping it real, you're keeping it rude, and you're keeping it dysfunctional. And you get to decide, does this serve a few people in the best way that it could? Or are we looking to serve everyone and create something that can create healthy, happy human beings and relating? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to replace the criticism with concern. There's nothing wrong with having a complaint or a concern. It's how you complain. So you get to look at the concern and complaints in a way that's going to target the issues. So if you're targeting the issues, you want to be sure that you're attacking issues and not people. You're removing the blame. That's the first thing you want to do with criticism, because criticism blames someone. You always do this, or you're negative, or you're moody, or you're selfish, or you're. And so with removing the blame from the comment, it makes it more of a concern. I'm upset that you didn't come home early. I'm upset that you were speaking loud to me in front of everyone. I'm upset but see, starting with I'm upset that I didn't get the respect I needed. I'm upset that I didn't get the help that I needed and the support that I needed. I'm upset. See how it's I and it's not you? And so that reduces it, and it changes it into a concern. And it goes right to the core of the issue, which is the emotional impact of the interaction. After you do that, you look at focusing on the emotion. After you remove the blame from the comment, you look at how you feel. Like I stated, it's filled with I statements. I am disappointed. I am lonely. I am feeling left out. I am feeling frustrated. I am feeling devalued. I am feeling unappreciated. Those go a long way, because when you're blaming and criticizing, you're setting up a system for defensiveness. But when you're sharing your emotion, and for some people, depending on their maturity level, it's still going to be difficult for them to hear, but you want to make sure that you're asserting yourself and that you're being honest and open emotionally, and that you're willing to engage in truthful communication. And then number 3, you don't criticize personalities. You don't say you're thoughtless and you're lazy, or you're toxic. You know, nothing clears out a room faster than telling someone that. So we don't want to criticize personalities. You're a drama queen. Oh, here you go again. You're always in your feelings. You're a drama queen. So those things make for criticism. And number 4, we don't want to insult or mock or use sarcasm. And, and we do that in a slick way. We say things like, we know you're the selfish one in the family. We know you never bring anything because, you're cheap. You're cheap. So we know you don't bring anything. So that is a way to insult or to mock or to use sarcasm. Or we know you're not the decorator in the family. You did the best you could. Or who made this? This don't taste right. We know you're not the cook in the family. Such and such should have made it. And then number 5, we stick with one situation when you're sharing your concerns, because if you share too many concerns, you can flood the person, especially if they have a low self-esteem, if the relationship is not solid. With anyone, you're supposed to pad it with 5 good things and 1 concern. So you don't want to just continue to snowball and cascade situations from 1980, 1999, 2 weeks ago, last year, the last 20 years of being in the marriage or in the relationship, because it becomes too much. It's one concern at a time. Look at it as a plate, 1 plate at a time, 1 meal at a time. You don't want to put several meals, appetizers, desserts, everything. No, you just want to have 1 meal, digestible meal at a time, because you can overfeed someone and then they're going to get sick and they're going to protrude their anger all over the place and it's going to be disastrous and no one wins. So in strategy, you're going to have to be able to pace yourself and know that one issue at a time, it's all we can process clearly. And it's not fair to dump on people. It's not fair to hold several offenses and then say, today's the dump day. All the trash, all the dissatisfaction, it's coming out today. And I don't care if you can bear it or not, it's coming out. So we want to be very careful with that because people are fragile and because people may not be able to inhale all of that or be able to digest is a better word. Okay, and then we want to make sure that on top of that, we are not analyzing the behaviors of other people in a way that dictates to them what we think, because that becomes offensive. We want to give people the opportunity to say what their issues are. So we're not gonna analyze the behaviors and we're not gonna mind read. Like, oh, I know what you meant. You meant this, and because you always think negative, you had a negative thought. That creates challenges in the connection process. So in strategy, if you want to kill that four horsemen, one of the four horsemen, which is criticism, is just to back away and don't put a critical analysis on the communication style or the behavior of the person. Only communicate your concerns. Don't add even the mind reading component. And so number 2, if you'd like to replace the contempt with admiration, that's how you reduce the contempt. You have to look and you have to consider things about the person. It takes praising behavior that's praisable. Like with children, if you only notice the negative thing, then pretty soon you'll just dismiss the positive and you'll focus on the negative. And then that you'll get, I don't like this child's behavior, and it creates contentment. Nothing reduces contentment like validation and admiration. You get more of what you praise. If you praise something positive, you're going to get that behavior. If you notice, oh, you were thoughtful, you brought ice. Oh, you were thoughtful, you you remembered everybody, you bought a video, or you bought the music for the family function, or you were thoughtful, you thought about everyone, and you're always the thoughtful one. You're always trying to make it special. Identify what people do that's good, because no one in a family is 100% evil. There are some redeemable qualities in everyone. They said that Jeffrey Dahmer used to cut people's lawns, and someone had something good to say about him. So if we don't have anything good to say, and it just creates more contempt, and then we get on the negative spiral of identifying what people don't do right.